You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCCW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Two friends hyped up on caffeine and sugar. It's Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Meredith.
Welcome back to Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Meredith. I'm your girl, Jennifer.
Yes, and I'm your girl, Meredith. We had a few words in the break.
Yes, welcome back, Meredith. So happy to have you here today.
That's kind of a scary voice. Why don't we welcome our guest?
Yes, welcome, Sean.
Welcome.
I know. I'm like, don't worry. We're open arms. You're in a happy
Yes.
environment.
We have Sean Thompson. He's a director. He's an author. He is also a co-host here on the Lone Star Community Radio morning show.
What isn't he?
Tall.
You are hilarious. No, and I say that because, Sean, you are very humble. But this man here, especially because we got, of course, the more we learn about him, he's got great, of course, story. You've been able to travel a lot because of the family. But you've ended up here and been able to, certainly I know you because of directing, because I remember seeing The Three Musketeers. But then that night you also, coincidentally, had to be an actor because I think someone had fallen ill or, wasn't able to step in. Well, either way, you stepped in as the director. And I was like, wow. So I was really blown away. That was my first introduction to you. And then as time goes on, of course, talking to Rick, he's filling us in about everything that you do in the community.
Uh-oh.
I know. Got to pay him on the side. No, I'm just kidding. But, you have so much going on, Sean. So why don't you tell our listeners really, what you do here in the community or what, there may be, of course, a few things that you don't do. But still, fill us in.
Well, one of my most recent gigs is I co-host with Dick for Mornings Lone Star, Dick and Skippy.
Yep, jackpot for Lone Star Community Radio. We're so thrilled.
Well, it's interesting to see how you guys do it on the weekends because, weekdays it's a little different. I pulled up today and I couldn't find the valet parking. There's no catering table and a distinct lack of groupies. And I'm wondering what the hell you ladies do on a Saturday.
I know, right?
We're definitely trying to beef
We're
up our
working on
groupiness.
that.
Yeah, let's get that going again. I have needs. Okay. Where's my trailer?
Oh, good night. I see a writer in the future. Next time he's going to have his own little writer. I would like all the blue M&Ms in one bowl here, please.
Oh, my God, that would make me so happy.
Have blue and stuff like
Oh, good night. Now you started Madonna indigence. Thanks.
Jennifer's got some unresolved blue M&M rage issues.
No, I would love that. Oh, okay.
No, I just eat all my M&Ms, my Reese's Pieces, my Skittles, whatever. I eat them by color.
You are flipping kidding me.
No, I like to sort them all.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. Yeah.
There are those that do that. I'm not one of them. But
I was about to say.
hear.
So you're telling me when you open, and I'm sorry, Sean, but this is groundbreaking to me. The idea of this. So you get a bag of M&Ms out of the vending machine, and then you open it up, and then you take them out and sort them.
Yes, I do.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that, Sean.
No worries.
There's a lot that I'm curious about, but we're going to let that go.
How long have you two been doing this now?
We've been
April
friends
will be our
April will be our anniversary.
on the air.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're super thrilled. But yeah, just you know how it is, learning things. I'm sure you're learning a lot about what I like to call him Hefe because, I've got a 12-year-old son who would love to say his name all the time and does when I mention it. But yeah, so you and Dick have learned a lot about each other, but you knew each other before you got on air, correct?
Oh, that's correct. I've done some shows here. I've played Scrooge a couple of times, and I was in an episode of The Shadow when we did the live radio shows. And Dick and I were both on the board over at the Owen Theater, and so we crossed paths many times. And a few months ago, he was looking for a co-host, and that same day, one of the other producers had asked if I wanted a talk show, and I was very iffy about it, and they said, "Well, come up, let's talk." And in that time it took me to drive up, Dick came out saying, "I need a co-host. I'm doing this all by myself, and I'm boring as hell, and everyone hates me." I'm paraphrasing now. But if only I had a really spectacular co-host, maybe I could, jump off this ledge to safety. And enter Skippy. I walk in the room.
And the angels
The angels,
start
yeah.
singing.
Choir.
Yeah.
And then
Handel's Messiah played.
a
And
little angelic, like,
Yes.
color, light,
Aura.
shining aura.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes.
I could just see it because, frankly, you would be a cute little angel, like a Cupid. We should
Yes.
make you like the radio
who has those?
Cupid.
Wait, those pictures should be like long destroyed. That was
Dick
college.
immediately fell to his face and said, "I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy."
And on the heels of that, he said, "Can you start tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, let's give it a try." And that was when
But
was
no,
like 4
you weren't
months
kidding
ago.
about that. You weren't kidding because literally that conversation happened and within 24 hours, like the next morning, correct?
I believe so. Yeah, we started the next morning,
Yeah.
and we started with 8 to 11, with 8 to 10 being music, where we just kind of be sitting around,
Farting around.
conversing. And we noticed that the listenership kind of tripled when we started talking. We saved the third hour for what we call the nitty gritty, and that's where we'd hit the headlines and get a little controversial. And so we talked. We said, well, let's kill the first hour, just play normal music, and then from 9 to 11, let's play some rock music on the top and bottom of the hour, but just do 2 hours of the nitty gritty. Do you think we have enough material? I was like, please. And so there we go. So 9 to 11, I got to look at his face where you are. It is vastly superior now looking at you than him. Sorry, Dick, you can't save everybody.
You're so sweet. I'm
It's
sick.
okay. He's
I'm
not listening anyways.
I'm not even at my hottest right now. I'm sick. So I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. You're very sweet.
Yeah, I keep hearing about all these medications. I don't see any.
I keep him in the car.
Quit holding out. Come
Keep
on.
him in the car. Otherwise, I'd have to share him with everybody. Green room becomes definitely inappropriate. You know how
And
it is.
Jennifer would be separating the blue pills from the green pills from the red pills.
She would. She'd be like, no, that goes over
would-
here. That goes over
Nope,
here.
this is oregano. We're going to put this to the side.
Right. Right.
Oh, that's so hilarious. Well, and before, because of course we are so thrilled to have you on Lone
Well,
Star
thank
Community
you.
Radio. It's so exciting, and you are pretty funny. I mean, I'm not
I have
gonna.
my moments. Sadly, most of them are in private, but I have them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Jen and I can definitely understand that. We have our moments where we're a lot funnier off the air because, good night. But that being said, before you, of course, bless us, it's because, of course, everything you do in the community. But back up and remind us where you got started because there's so much. I'm curious. Like, did you start with directing? How did this all begin?
Wow. Okay, I'll try to do the brief history of the
I was about to
universe.
say, I know you got to kind of.
Because I'm old,
Oh, stop.
Well, compared to Dick is my son's age. So,
No way.
Yeah, way.
Oh, that's so wild.
My
Oh, wait.
grandson is only like 20 years younger than Dick.
First of all, you don't look like you should be having grandbabies. And then
Aw.
I forgot that, yes, Hefe is a kid. I have to watch it. I'm serious. My son, when I joined Lone Star Community Radio, you will not believe the jokes that my son would be like, oh, I know what you're going to be doing. And just inappropriateness. So I had to watch it. And so, yeah, I asked him if I could call him Hefe. And he said yes. So that's why.
I'm sure he loved the heck out of that one. Yeah, there was one morning where he was like an hour late, and Jake, who does sports talk, was in the studio. So he and I decided to just, hey, let's do it without Dick.
No way.
So we spent the next hour, all these jokes about the lack of my co-host and all these Richard jokes that
Sure.
they saw an hour, that I'm sure some at the FCC had their finger on the button, ready
They
for
were
it. Just- we had them all written down. Just, okay, you think we can legally get away with this one?
It's premeditated there.
Yeah.
You want to seem like it's off the cuff. That's what you do when you're like, oh, I don't know, it just happened. Yeah, you
Right.
gotta watch it. But no, so
Brief history.
Yeah.
Stage debut was when I was 5. My sister's school was doing a production of Macbeth. They asked me to be one of the kids that gets slaughtered in the Macduff slaughter scene. So I was exposed to Shakespeare at the age of 5.
and a really bizarre scene. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Well, I asked what was going to happen, and they said, well, these two people are going to grab you, take you off stage to murder you. And I thought they were speaking for realsies. So I started screaming blue murder, and the critics were like, oh, my God, the young kid playing young Macduff just really brought the emotion. And
I'm
like,
glad you needed therapy after that.
you're
probably.
right. That same year, I read this book of all books called A Wrinkle in Time. And I knew I wanted to be a writer. I read the book when I was 5. I was like, I want to write this one day. And so I wrote a short story, got published when I was 7. I was a guest columnist for the San Diego Evening Tribune when I was 8. I was also almost a contestant on the dating game back then. They
No, blooming way.
Way, yeah, they had a special kids episode.
Oh,
and I lived in California at the time, and we'd written a letter to Jim Lang, who was the host, and we got a letter back saying, well, maybe next year we're going to do this, and that was the year we moved to Japan. So missed out being on the dating game.
boo.
Dude,
How old were you? They were going to be doing a dating game for 8-year-olds? Oh.
They had a special one-off episode with kids. It was
Oh,
probably
sure,
a special
sure.
Valentine's episode, and I thought, oh, that was good because the girl, Bachelorette number 2 was really cute, so I wanted to, meet her. And I think Susie, I think was her name. Yeah, Pearls.
Memories.
Ah, the memories.
That's
Back
so
when
funny.
in television shows where I remember them, separating them from the others with In Living Color. I remember those days. But moved to Japan. Then moved to England after that when I was 12. And went to an all-boys school. People was like, oh, it's like Hogwarts. I was like, no, it's like Dead Poet Society without fun Robin Williams stuff. I got beaten every day with a cane for being the only American at the school. It was 4 years of
Really bland
difference.
food and beatings.
right, yeah, and uniforms and no. Did I mention the no girls part?
Oh.
Yeah, no. This school was literally older than our country. It was 250 years old when I went there in the 70s.
Nice.
So, but then
All I think is your living quarters may have been a little bit cooled. Like they didn't have the central air and heat at that time.
no, it was all space heaters and stuff. There was no air conditioning in England. I think the years I lived there were only 2 degrees. 2 days it actually got over like 80 degrees.
Yeah. I guess they don't need it. Of course, as a Texan, I'm always like, dang, that must have been tough for you. Yeah.
Right. There I got into acting a bit on the drama club. And it's funny because, again, all-boys school, so they were very Shakespearean that the female roles were played by guys in drag. And that's just how you did. There's nothing about it. That's what they did. And so I got into acting a bit, moved back to America, went to University of St. Thomas, got heavy into writing, picked the writing back up. And when I grow up one day, I want to be a writer, still planning that. And then started acting and directing, taking acting and directing classes. Kind of learned that, and flash forward, directed a couple of things while in university. But then in 1995, I wrote a play that I submitted to a local competition, a Members' Choice Awards for Ben Theater, and won. So they put it on. I got to direct it, and so I kind of boots on the ground learned how to do it. And eventually that took off. Directed a feature film that won a film festival, written some stuff that I've been very lucky enough to have won some awards for. Book, same thing. Through a great confluence of events, it was a bestseller for about a week, and I'll take it.
Right?
Right.
That's
For one day, I outsold Stephen King for like one day on Amazon. I will take that, man. And started working my way up north, and eventually, I'm a Woodlands boy. Ended up in Conroe and started doing stuff for the many years ago. I did stuff for the Crichton because I'm a musician also, and they did a production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
And I was
wow,
in the
yeah.
band for that, and that was a lot of fun. And eventually came up to the Owen, and I was asked to direct Three Musketeers. And I'd already been in 2 previous productions of that in different theaters. Had a blast, and then I was asked to direct Kiss Me Kate, which is coming up, a big musical. And then I'll be directing next year, too. I can't tell you what it is, but it is fast.
Oh, really? See, that's fresh. I knew about the Kiss Me Kate because I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. But no, I love your story, and it just is so. It shows how diverse you are because you get to do everything. I'm curious, what's your favorite, if you could name one, or is that even fair? I guess it's
favorite-
tough of your talents or what you get to do.
Oh, wow. See, they're all kind of integrated between writing and directing. I got to say writing probably because it's been with me the longest. But when you write, I used to teach this workshop called God of Your Own Universe. And it's when you write something, you're literally creating a universe that you're asking your audience to
Yes.
to come in for a couple of hours or 400 pages. And they have to trust you with the rules of this universe.
Right.
It's just take the X-Files, for instance. You have a universe where you can have monsters of the week and time travel and alien invasion, and you can accept that. But if you had a musical episode, the audience would never forgive you. But over on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you can because it's in the rules of the universe. So you get to create this, and in my novel, I killed off one of the main characters halfway through, and I actually got death threats and hate mail over that. My own publisher, when she was reading The Galley, she called me back. She's like, he's coming back, right? I'm like, no, he's dead. You can't kill this guy. And I love it because he's a figment of my imagination. But people cared enough about him
That they felt so compelled. I mean, it's one thing to think it, but then to take the act to go ahead and write it and send it out, like the follow through, that means there's some serious, feelings there, and that's remarkable. Even though it's something that, of course, you weren't going to move on your position, but you're like, wow, I bet that was great.
Yeah, it truly was. Because Time Cross is the name of the novel, and I actually got 53 rejections, and the 53rd actually came a year after it was published. So, and I kept all the rejection letters. I want to laminate them because they're a great reminder. Star Wars was rejected by every major studio before Fox said, let's take a chance. And they had no idea how it was going to go.
Yeah, that's just remarkable, and that just speaks to, of course, the grit, if you will, of many in the community that are like just in general, don't give up. Just keep plugging out, especially if it's something that you love and you're passionate about.
Absolutely.
And I love the idea of you and Hefe together, Dick, in the mornings, because I imagine, first of all, when Dick stopped by to move some equipment, he is pretty funny in his own right. But I bet y'all get a few jabs together, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I used to listen to him every now and then before. It's like, man, you're boring, dude. You need someone to bounce off of. You're just welcome to Mornings with Lone Star.
Oh,
I'm still Dick. Here's some more country music. I'm like, good Lord. So we've really been spicing it up. We're not afraid. We'll look at the headlines and we'll flip a coin over, okay, if we agree on a topic, but we don't want to agree on the air. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be anti-Congress today. You be pro-Congress, and then we get some guests in, they're just amazing. We're getting a lot more political candidates coming in, Republican, Democrat, and I think politically, Dick and I are half and half. Half things we agree on, half the things we don't. So it makes for great, civil discourse. We're huge on that.
I love that. He's like, it makes for great civil discourse.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is great material. Well, and plus, you don't want everybody, just like she and I are Grit and Grace, you don't want it all, everybody the same, vanilla cookie over there.
Right. I'm so embarrassed because I just assumed those are your names.
Oh.
I looked at the sign and I saw Jennifer and Meredith. It's like, oh, great. Who's who?
Well, you don't have to worry about that because I think we all know that she's Grit because she's quite the regulator on me, aren't you?
Yep.
She keeps it real. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
I get a little sticky at times and she calls me out on it every blooming time.
She's my Dick.
All right.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there. See, that's what we were doing that day when I was talking about that.
Yeah.
It was 58 solid minutes of that before Dick finally comes bursting in through the door. Okay, I'm here. You can stop now.
That's kind of hilarious. Just because, yes, I could be like a little boy too and find joy in that, especially because my son, the things that he got entertained by, I think he would have loved that entire hour. So maybe for Christmas, I'll let him watch that. Who knows? Next year. Be like, now you're old enough to have a whole hour of it. All right. Well, and really, you can find Sean. What's so great about Sean Skippy Thompson. I'm doing the full name because it's not Sean Skippy.
Sean Keith Skippy Thompson. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
If we're going to go full tilt, let's go all the way here. Let's
right.
commit.
All right. Sean Keith Skippy Thompson is here to join us. And of course, he is on, you can catch him, all over the community, but particular every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, right here with Dick on the morning show, Lone Star Community Radio, right here. But then you get to see him directing in the community. And really, I've seen you act, which is exciting because I thought that was my first experience. And of course, in the audience, I'm thinking, but I guess you're so close to the characters that it's easy for you to switch off, correct?
Well, fortunately, that character I had actually played before.
Oh, okay.
And, it was during Tech Week that the gentleman, a fine actor, had to step out of the production the Sunday before we opened. And I was a lot of angst about it. We had a big conversation. And I knew that I'd played that role before, so I asked him if it's okay. I'm gonna step in on your role, and he was really cool with it. And so fortunately, it was kind of, I had the unfair advantage. I remembered some of the lines, but directing it for, 2 solid months before that, I kind of had a sense of every character.
I was about to say, because it seems like, it was flawless from my eyes, and I thought it was really great. So,
Thank
of course,
you.
I was like, man, I wonder how that other guy, no, disrespect. I didn't know the gentleman, and still, whomever was going to play the role prior to, but all I thought was, man, that's got to be hard to compare yourself when you're like, oh, yeah, did you catch him last week? Because now, the director is like, how do you step up to that? But, okay, I got to cut you short because I want a showdown between you and Jen. And I tried to ask you for your opinion. You didn't get it. So now y'all get what you get. And you're not
Awesome.
going to throw a fit, right? So we got a little game coming up.
So
Game
this
of
isn't
the-
embarrassing songs because I have a whole litany of those, but we'll move on.
Okay, yes, and I do want your take on that, but yeah, let's play the game first, and then we'll
Cool.
get on it. Okay, so guys, y'all stay tuned. We've got more of Grit and Grace with Sean, Keith, Skippy Thompson. Good night. I'm just gonna
Skippy.
call.
We're on a middle name basis now.
Okay,
Skippy will do.
Skippy, thank you, because I'm like, good night. There's a whole. Yes. So stick around. We've got more of Grit and Grace with Jennifer Meredith coming up.
Stay tuned for more fun on Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Meredith.